Hi everyone, my name is Courtney. I write under the pen names Lyra Parish and I'm one half of the USA Today best-selling duo Kennedy Fox, and today is Monday, which means it's time for another Q&A Monday. Oh my goodness. We are now number 14 into the series. Can you even believe that? Because it's literally blowing my mind right now. I don't even want to start talking up here at the beginning. Let's go ahead and get started with this video because there are a lot more questions for us to start answering. We've got Joni and Brian Castle. They say, "Hi Courtney, my husband and I are gearing up to start a self-publishing career and we can't tell you how much we love your channel." Thank you so much. So much good information, and watching your videos feels like a friend sitting in our room teaching us the things we need to know, so thank you. My heart. For real. Like, thank you. I really appreciate that. Continues on. The question, you've mentioned insurance. Is that general liability insurance for your author business? Is there liability or risk in publishing a novel? Also, we would love to see a video that went into a little more depth about some things you mentioned. Reader magnets, smash words, direct to digital, publish drive, BookBub featured deals, promo stacks, newsletter stackers. Again, thank you for sharing all your knowledge. Best, Joni and Brian. I have mentioned insurance, and that is essentially health insurance. I do not have any sort of like general liability insurance for my writing. I've had people ask me if I had my hands insured. I do know some authors who do have their hands insured, but I have not gone that far with it yet. We do have a LLC, and our LLC essentially protects our business. Something happened or someone wanted to sue me and Brooke for something, all they could sue is what the business owns, but they wouldn't be able to sue me personally and like take away my house or my 401k savings from my job or like my vehicles or anything like that. At that point, it would be a civil suit where someone would have to sue me outside of the business. I'm absolutely not a lawyer, and I always tell my viewers to make sure that you hire professionals for things like that. As far as I understand, with my knowledge of business, due to it being kind of my background, that's the protection that Brooke and I personally have to protect our personal assets. As far as when I talk about insurance, I'm talking about health insurance for me and my husband. I will be talking about more in depth the things that I did to prepare to quit my full-time job. My 2-year anniversary is coming up on March 1st, 2022. I can't even freaking believe it. And I am planning to have that video go live before then. But I literally got our health insurance plans from healthcare.gov. It was cheaper than me doing Cobra through my job. It was a better plan. It was a lower deductible. The doctors that I used before I quit my job compared to now are exactly the same. So didn't lose anything other than a crappy boss. But when I talk about insurance, I'm literally talking about my personal insurance plan. We have talked to our accountant. We can get into a network because we're using a payroll system now, and they have their own network for insurance plans for employees of the LLC. So like if me and Brooke wanted to go through our payroll system to get a better plan for our personal insurance, we could, but we haven't gotten that far yet. We're kind of taking things a little slowly because, you know, we just rolled into an S Corp a few years ago. I quit my job like not even 2 years ago, and it's just been a lot of really big changes at once. Yeah, hopefully that clears that up a little bit, and I am totally taking your comment into consideration for my upcoming videos with all of that stuff, because I have had some questions about, you know, what do I mean when I say frequel? What do I mean when I'm talking about like actual newsletter stacking and things of that nature? So absolutely, I am going to write that down in my little notebook and try to plan out videos. Also, I've started planning out the marketing series. Right now I've got, I think it's 12 more videos planned for that, which will give kind of like a major overview of marketing for a new book or a new series, and a lot of that stuff will be in that series. I'm just keeping all those little nuggets of things that you'll need and want in mind. So the next question comes from Joanna, and she says, "I love your channel and all your helpful advice, and especially your live writing sprints, though I rarely catch them live. Here's my question. I'm gearing up to write a series of 5 novellas. Tentatively, I'm planning one a month, which means my publishing schedule is booked until the middle of this year at least. I love the universe I've created and overall the series arc, so it's not a case of disliking my current projects. It's just that I have so many ideas, especially for 10K short romances, over 50 stories by my last count, and my heart doesn't want to shelf them all for some unspecified future date. I do have brain dump rough outline files for each of those ideas, but I still always want to write everything now. How do you deal with that kind of impatience? That's what I like to call shiny object syndrome, and I find that newer authors suffer with that pretty badly. Mood writers also deal with that as well, because they'll get like a brand new idea and they're like, ooh, I'm excited about this. I need to go write this thing. But the problem with doing that is you tend to not finish projects. Luckily, you have, you know, 6 releases planned up until the middle of the year. I suppose it's 5. A series, you have 5 novellas planned out. I would say to start planning out your next 5. Keep yourself reined in where you can actually finish projects, complete them, move on to the next thing, but don't get so far ahead of yourself where you've got 100 ideas and not enough time in the next year to write all of them. And also, if you're doing short novellas, I would say to watch trends, honestly, because if you're writing 10K stuff, like you have the ability right now to jump on trends super easily, very quickly, and try to capture an audience of people who are very hungry for specific things. I can write 10K in 2 days. So if I was not doing Kennedy Fox and this was my full-time job, I would literally do nothing but trend chase every single week. I would have a novella out there every other week, chasing a trend, trying to find something that catches on, watching trends on TikTok to see what people are talking about and what they're loving, and I would literally write what the market wants at this very moment. When you have 50 ideas, you should go and research Amazon and see which of those are actually viable, because we can have fantastic, wonderful ideas, but there's not a market for it right now. And there are several genres that's like that, where you can be like, oh, like back in the day when Twilight was a big deal, like the market was oversaturated with vampires, and now people are like, well, we really don't want vampires because those stories have already been told. Like, you wouldn't want to write just like 50 vampire stories. I won't even go into what you would need to even make that successful. But the thing is like, it is hard. It is hard to stop your brain from constantly thinking. And what I would do is I would definitely keep notes on the things that you want to write, but keep your goals in mind when you decide to start writing stuff. What is your ultimate goal? Is it to make money? Is it to quit your job? Is it to pay for an amazing vacation? And that goal should be what directs what you do. If you're writing your 5 novellas and you have these 50 ideas laid out, and tomorrow rom-com doctor romances hit the market and people are going crazy over it, then yeah, that next novella should probably be a rom-com doctor romance. You see what I'm saying? And since what you're writing is so short, it would be very easy to throw them in there. What is your goal? If you deviate from that, will you meet your goal? And if the question is no, then you have to be real with yourself. You have to have those hard discussions. I mean, I don't know what your goals are. It may just be to write what you love. And if that's the case, then go on with it. But if you're trying to make it a career, and if this is what you want to do long term, where it pays your bills and it does all those things, then you should figure out what your overall specific goal is. And I'm impatient too. I have zero advice for how to stop impatience. Like, I have people in my life that know that I'm very impatient, I'm very impulsive, and I like to get things done right now, and I want to reap the rewards right now. But after you've done this for a little while, you realize there are literally things that you can't control. And the things that you can control is what you write and what you work on. And you have to go at those projects with the intention of trying to meet your overall goal. Once I learned that series sell better once they're completed, in my mind, it was series need to be complete. And that's what has to be done. Whatever time I have to spend to finish that series to make more money, to be able to quit my job and not have to deal with a jerk boss, like, that's what needs to happen. And so it really sets a roadmap and a plan. And of course you can deviate from that, but when you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your career, then all of that impulsivity and impatience and all of that, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't lead you to where you want to go. Hopefully that helps a little bit. This next question comes from Anonymous, and it says, I'd love some advice on when you think it's necessary to start using a pen name. The first series I've published falls into the YA thriller genre. It's not a normal genre for me. I tend on writing contemporary, fantasy, paranormal. On top of that, my next series won't be YA, but will be adult. It won't contain any graphic sex scenes, but obviously that's a bit of a genre jump. Do you think I need a pen name? Thanks so much for what you do. It's always hard for me to answer this question because you guys know how I feel. If you're gonna have adult themes but you write specifically for children, you need to have two pen names. I don't think that there should be books readily available, marketed essentially to children if you're a YA author, that contains things that are extremely graphic. And that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, spicy scenes, but also like gore, horror, things like that that's meant for a more mature audience. Like if you're doing that, like please create a pen name. I grew up reading Stephen King. You know what I mean? Like when I was 15, I was reading adult books. And then when I became an adult, I was reading young adult. So I don't know what happened there, but my dad would buy me Stephen King books and I would read them, and he loved to read too. So it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm 15. I can handle Stephen King. And I did perfectly fine. There was no issue with that. When it comes to having a bunch of different genres under one name, it's hard to brand yourself as being a specific type of author. If you're one of those authors that you just throw the kitchen sink at, like people are not going to know what to expect from you. I usually tell authors, once you're established in a genre, once you are established as this type of author, and you know for a fact that when you release a book, it's going to sell, that's when it's time to branch out under the same pen name with all the passion projects that you want to write. But until you're at that point, if you're not going to be consistently releasing under those other genres, I would write those books and I would almost pitch them to traditional publishers. I know some people will probably come at me for saying that, but if you're writing YA and you're writing adult and you plan to release one adult book per year, that's not enough as a self-published author. I'm sorry, it's just not. You need to release more than one book per year or you will be forgotten because the industry is changing so quickly and so many other people are releasing books at a fast pace that by the time you release that second book, people are probably going to forget about you. And that's hard truth. I know people get kind of like, ugh, when I say stuff like that, but I truly believe that. How many books are you going to write pitched to adults? Is your branding going to be different? My suggestion for people who are doing this, who has a brand set up already, say you're a young adult author and you're going to start writing adult, you don't want to have several different KDP accounts. You don't want to have different Instagram. You don't want to have different whatever. Create a pen name that is attached to your current pen name. So like me, everyone knows my name is Courtney Young. Okay, I've not really hidden that from anybody. So if I was writing as Courtney Young as a young adult author, maybe I should do that. That sounds kind of cool. But if I was writing as Courtney Young as a young adult author, and then I decided that I wanted to start writing horror that was aimed for adults, then I would market those books as C Young or CM Young or whatever. It would still be attached to me. It would still be attached to my author profile. But those who know me and know what I write would know CM Young is for adults, Courtney Young is for young adults. And so that's a very easy way to have pen names, to have two different brands underneath the same umbrella of what you're trying to do. And that's what I would personally do. Of course, everyone is different. Everyone does whatever they want, but that would be my suggestion for you. So the next one comes from SM East. It says, hi Courtney, I've been watching your YouTube videos, which kick butt by the way. And though I am not a regular romance reader, I admire your work ethics and have learned so much about self-publishing through you. I checked out the Kennedy Fox website and thought it was gorgeous. I was wondering if you could give a general idea of how you have gone through the process of building your website and have you found it to be a good source of sales for your books. Thank you for all of the support you give through your videos. Love, Savannah. Okay, so you guys know that I've built the Kennedy Fox website from the very beginning, and we use self-hosted WordPress. I'm going to go through this in the marketing series just to kind of like break down the different elements that I feel like authors should have on their website. I've been building websites since I was like 14, and my first website was a Dixie Chicks fan website on GeoCities. Yes, I just dated myself. If anyone was a 90s kid, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But with that being said, I do find our website to be very beneficial. Actually had a call with our PayPal representative, and we have made over $80,000 or $85,000 on our shop since we opened it. So yes, absolutely, your shop is an incredible resource and another way for you to sell your books, signed copies. We are now offering ebooks on our website, and we've got just a bunch of different swag that's reader related, and we also post like bonus scenes. We have newsletter signups, and we try to post like new release stuff on our blog that goes out to people who are subscribed to our blog too. So it's just another way to contact people. As far as the general idea of building our website, you will need your domain name, you will need a self-hosting platform. For WordPress, there is GoDaddy's, Bluehost, and SiteGround. Those are the three that I have used over my career of building websites. GoDaddy, I can't recommend. I migrated our website off of that hosting because it was terrible. We have too much traffic and it would just bog down and crash, and when you're doing a sell, that is not what you want because you're literally losing money. Bluehost, I haven't used in a very, very long time, so I can't honestly say if I recommend it today, but I did move the Kennedy Fox website to SiteGround. It is more expensive than GoDaddy, but I've had no problems, and their customer service is absolutely amazing. After you have your domain and you get your hosting, you're gonna want SSL. SSL is essentially like your security, so when you go to a website, it's HTTPS that shows that your website is secure. You have the little lock in the top left-hand corner. And once you do that, you will install the WordPress application, and it'll just be like a regular web page at that point. We use the Divi Builder. This comes from Elegant Themes, and it's a very easy program to use where you can just literally like stack boxes on each other. And so anytime I look at a web page, I go, okay, that's a box. If there's two things next to each other, that's two boxes. If there's like a picture right here, that's an image box. And so I can glance at any website and essentially mock it up with Divi. It's so powerful. It's so easy to use. I can't say enough things about it. I think it's $59 a year for Divi. I paid for the lifetime subscription a long time ago because I love building websites. Like if I wasn't an author and my time wasn't full, I would literally just build websites for people because I really do enjoy it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There are different templates that you can find in the back of WordPress. With our shop, we use WooCommerce. It's a free application that is with WordPress. WooCommerce connects with our PayPal, and so when people go to our website to purchase things, essentially they can use their PayPal account, or they can use PayPal without having an account because you can just put your credit card in. Now we've actually got pay later on our website, so if someone wants to spend $500, there's like no issue for them to check out and then just pay it in payments to PayPal, but we actually get our full amount of money at that point. Super beneficial for you. It's another way for you to increase your income on products that you already have. It's a way to keep up with your readers. If someone wants to contact you, you've got your information there, and it's just like your home on the internet. So yes, every author should have a website. Maybe you don't sell stuff right now, but if you get a self-hosted WordPress, it gives you the ability to move up to that eventually. You're not locked into the specific thing. So hopefully that was helpful. I think this is going to be the last question. Chloe asks, do authors need to buy a font license to use the font Times New Roman in their published works? I know you need to buy a license to use certain fonts for covers. Yes, usually handled by designers. That's absolutely right, especially if you're using it for commercial use. But I'm so confused about Times New Roman because I get mixed results about it online. Okay, so Times New Roman, I would say no. If you needed a license personally for Times New Roman, I do not believe Vellum would offer that as a font choice because all of the fonts that they have inside of Vellum when you export are the regular fonts that you have in Word. I'm going to Google this real quick, but I would say no. I would say no. Times New Roman is a serif typeface. It was commissioned by the British newspaper The Times in 1931 and conceived by Stanley Morrison, the artistic advisor to the British branch of the printing equipment company Monotype, in collaboration with Victor Lardent, a lettering artist in the Times advertising department. It's been around since 1931. I am on a website that talks about legal use of Times New Roman, and it says Times New Roman is a widely used font in print. It is no longer proprietary to the Times, therefore it can be used. So yes, you can use Times New Roman. I will also recommend that you go to Font Squirrel. It is a website that has commercial free use. You can use those fonts anywhere on the internet, on your covers, on your website, wherever, and download them for free. I love that website so much and have a low-key font addiction, so I used to go on there once a week and just download new fonts that they would put out, and I would just like to share that with you guys in case you're looking for new fonts that you can use on your covers or on your teasers or whatever the case is. So that's all I have this week. Thank you guys so much for continuing to submit questions. I'm trying to stay up to date with the ones that were submitted this year, but I feel like I can only get through like 3 or 4 questions per video because I don't want it to be way too long and I talk too much. So if you have a question that you would like to submit, please make sure to use the form down below in the description. It's in all of my videos. And yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you have an amazing, incredible week. You accomplish all your goals and you write all the words, and I'll see you again in my next video.